One of the things that's getting a lot of attention is going to be this Chapel Roan show. The conversation would appear that it might rival NoahCon and some of these other sets that they put on a tent, and it could maybe be bigger, maybe too big for the tent. That seems to be where it's going, right?
Yeah, this isn't my original thought. I saw other people talking about it first and then thought, huh, they're probably right. This tent show, which is, I don't have it in front of me, I'm sorry. I think it's 3 o'clock on Sunday. I know it's right after the beaches. That's why I remember it well, because that's my favorite. My favorite day is that early part of Sunday. And it's going to overly artificially
4:30.
inflate 4 o'clock. It's going to overly inflate
4:30.
the beaches show because people are going to be there early for Chapel Roan. And those tent stages, I'm just so tired. I'm so tired of them. I know they have to be a part of it. You got to have the smaller stages, but I just like the main stages better. It's going to be a monster.
Yeah.
It's going to be a monster. She is so huge. It's so fun to watch this play out since we started Discovery show, 4 months ago?
Right.
Never even heard of this person.
Right.
And there's so many other. Renee Rapp's another one. Beaches at that time I had heard of, but there's a handful of them, and it's just like, they're megastars. They're huge. You see Chapel Roan on these main stages. Go ahead, Russ. They're
Did
huge.
you see? Did you see the photos and video from? She just did Boston Calling.
That's
and
what it
had
was,
a
Boston
huge
Calling.
crowd.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
massive.
There's like
And-
10,000 people there. These tent
Yeah,
stages
that's-
are like for 1,000. It's going to be nuts.
Yeah, well, of course everybody's calling. Oh, you got to move her to the witch. You got
Little too late for that.
They can't move her. I mean, these things are locked in. Months and months in advance. So
Now, I don't want to, bleep all over the Witch Stage act, which forgive me for not having it in front of me right now. I don't know who they are. So a little switcheroo wouldn't bother me none, but it's a little too late.
well,
it's too late to do that.
That's the other problem. If you put her on the witch, you got to bump somebody, and who's gonna say yes to that?
No,
There's
nobody
a
who's
lot of-
already. Oh yeah, sure. I'll
No.
go to the small.
No.
No. Doesn't work that way.
It's interesting. I was listening back to some of our high five clips in earlier shows, and one of them was with Brian and Steven with AC Entertainment and Ted Heining, where, remember, Russ, we went up to Knoxville and actually sat there in the offices, and they explained to us how they build these lineups and how complicated it is and how it takes a year, maybe 2 years, and how important it is to try to look ahead and figure out the cycle, where an act is. Are they up? Are they down? Are they
Yeah,
going to
you've
have
got to
new
predict
material?
the future.
They get it right more often than not as far as who's going to be popular, in June and why. And sometimes they get it, I don't want to say wrong, but maybe underestimated, like with Noah last year. We've seen it
These
before.
things come out of nowhere.
Yeah, I mean, projecting is always a difficult thing to do. Sometimes it's an irresponsible thing to do, depending on what you're talking about. So I'm not faulting anybody.
Right. No,
when
no,
this
no.
was booked at the end of last year, this was mostly booked at the end of last year.
Right.
So it's like, how do you know where this is going to go? And like you said, you try to guess, and you can only guess so much. I wouldn't have, in a million years, thought that Chapel Roan would be one of the bigger artists going right now, but that's why I only talk about festivals and don't book them for a living. It's a great problem to have. It's a great problem to have, and I apologize because I meant to go through and try to figure out some of these. This has happened over and over and over again over the years. It's happened it's just a natural flow of things.
Sure.
Noah Khan's the best example of recent memory. Wasn't that just last year, guys? Wasn't it?
That was last year.
Oh my God! I tried to go. Brad Steiner of the show, he regularly is somebody I go to for, like, hey, you know me, tell me what I need to go to.
Right.
What do I need to be looking at today? He said Noah Khan. I was okay. Well, I'll go. And I got there. I was like, this is the worst thing I've ever done. It was crazy, and there was no screens, which I don't even think that's going to fix this issue. But that's another case here. Another one that pops into my head that's like this was Mumford in 2010. There was some moving around of how they exploded from the time they were booked, and it turned into one of the bigger shows that Bonnaroo's ever seen as far as volume of people. But
Yeah, the other side of that is Adele.
Yeah.
Who saw Adele? Nobody
Yeah.
that I know.
Yeah.
You know,
T-Pain 2018 was in a tent. That was huge. Obviously, that's going to be better this year because since he's on the Witch. But you couldn't get close to T-Pain. That was for sure.
yeah,
think that
another
was
thing is
underestimated.
that Sunday the crowd thins.
it does.
No matter what, the crowd thins. But boy, I don't think it's going to thin enough. not to make that's going to be a big, huge day. I'm looking forward to it. I wish Sunday I'm usually beat up and ready to go, but I can't.
It may be one of those
can't
one
leave
day
this
things
year.
we end up talking about. Maybe people
Yeah.
are coming, not just for Fred again, but to see Chapel Roan. So I don't know. That's what one of the things we want to watch.
That's gonna be a big day. So I'm looking gonna have to pace. I don't know. That's gonna change my arrival time a little bit because
There it is again.
I mean
That's what I mean. That Tuesday to Monday, it's a slog.
a long time.
Yeah, it's
a
a
long
long
time.
time. So